Today, on the 4th of January 2015, the headline on CNN says, "Baby shortage imperils Japan's economy." It's not only today, even yesterday, the headline was saying, "Baby shortage imperils Japan's economy." The economy of Japan is in trouble because there is baby shortage in Japan. It is the same as the problem that the Chinese economy is facing because there is baby shortage in China. Because of the baby shortage, the Japanese and the Chinese economies are in peril. There is a difference between the Chinese and the Japanese economies. Whereas the Chinese economy is based on slave wages, the Japanese economy is not based on slave wages. The difference between the highest paid worker in Japan and the lowest paid worker is very little, whereas the wage gap in China is very, very wide. The wage gap in Japan is narrow. If the highest paid worker in China is being paid $70 million a year, the lowest paid will be paid $300 a year. The wage gap in China is very, very wide. But if the highest paid worker in Japan is paid $12,000 a month, the lowest paid will be paid around $9 or $10,000 a month. The wage gap is very narrow in Japan. But between those two economies with different wage gaps, the only thing that they have in common is the baby shortage, which imperils both their economies. Whereas their wage gaps does not affect their economic growth. The Chinese economy is number 2 in the world and the Japanese is number 3 in the world, even though there were different wage gaps. Baby shortage imperils both their economies. Baby shortage is the factor that is putting the economies in danger, whereas the difference in their wage gaps does not affect their growth. That is why Japanese and Chinese governments are dependent on other countries for the supply of labor. Just as today they depend on other people for supply of oil and minerals. Now the Japanese and the Chinese economies are dependent on other countries for the supply of slave labor. Those who will go to China will be treated as slaves, and those who will go to Japan may be luckier and find that the wage gap is not that great, it is narrow. But baby shortage imperils both their economies, which is why China is sponsoring southern governments to breed as many AIDS orphans as possible, who will replace the slave labor of China. Chinese government is supplying Viagra, which will be leased in the food provided in the school feeding schemes in South Africa to make the children breed as many as often as possible, because baby shortage imperils Japan's economy, because baby shortage imperils Chinese economy. South Africa and other countries are going to be the source of labor for the Japanese economy and the Chinese economy. The schools are going to be turned into breeding centers. This is what we get for electing illiterate leaders who don't see the value of education. This is what we get for electing leaders who believe that winning election is winning lottery. They take state funds as gambling money, which they've won during elections. They don't see the value of work. They don't see the value of education. That's why they will turn education centers into breeding centers to breed as many as often as possible, who will be shipped to China and Japan, because baby shortage impairs Japan's economy, because baby shortage impairs Chinese economy.